Hey there, my name is Dave. I love building battle bots, and this is my event report for the recent small bots of mass destruction held in Stuart, Florida. Okay, the report I'd like to do is on Stump Grinder. I'm part of Team Lumberjacks, and our Stump Grinder is our 15-pound vertical spinner. The spinner has been around for a couple years. We made it originally for the Robot Ruckus held back in 2019, I guess. And that was a large format, large arena held at Makers Faire, Orlando. So we built the robot, the team, with a series of different weapons configuration. The general design of it is kind of a modular design. It has bits and pieces. It's kind of deconstructed now, but it basically is made very modular. Pieces could be taken out and replaced and swapped out as needed. It basically has kind of a center weapon that sits inside the weapon cavity, and has two V-belt drives that drive the unit. We did okay. We came in second in that event.
Grinding some stumps on the side of the arena. Oh! It's flying! Sassy Pants goes for a ride.
However, we ended up succumbing to the first place, Neo Disco. It was able to get through our armor and jostle the bot enough for the batteries to get out. In a subsequent event, we also had another case where we went up against a large vertical spinner named Themis. It was in a smaller arena. It's an 8x8 arena. And we just couldn't get around that bot. And again, the same issue happened. The battery got loose, got out, and of course after that your bot is dead.
Both robots are spinning. That's a good sign. Ooh, we're waiting in anticipation. Uh-oh. Nice backflip. Woo! Uh-oh.
Battery up, battery up.
I hope you don't need that battery. Oh, 'cause you don't have it anymore.
So moving forward, when the small bots of mass destruction came up, it had been almost a whole year since we'd done any battle bots competing, and we wanted to kind of rebuild Stump Grinder from the ground up, keeping it its same general theme of a vertical spinner. In rebuilding and redesigning Stump Grinder, one of our main goals was to improve the drive smoothness of the bot. The original design was kind of a rear wheel only design, two wheels, and basically the whole unit would kind of run on the front as kind of like a typical two-wheel ramp. The problem there is that the bumpiness of the arena really led to a lot of problems. Whenever these wheels lost a bit of traction, it became very difficult to drive, to accelerate, to really control. And so what we wanted to do is to switch over to a softer, smaller, more compact bot that would have four-wheel drive. Additionally, we were going to try to get away from the modularity. We felt like that contributed a little bit to the fact that the battery was able to migrate its way out of the bot, outside of the bot with the number of hits that it had. So we redesigned the bot, and this time we decided to go with a configuration that was kind of a welded unibody. And so this was the result, basically a welded steel frame made out of 304 stainless. It's smaller and is a much more compact design than the original bot. So we took the bot down to Stuart to try it out. Again, this competition was in another small box, an 8x8 arena. So our first round, we got a bye in the competition. However, our second round was facing up against Themis. Once again, we had encountered this bot in this same arena previously and ended up with the battery out and the robot dead quite quickly. Themis is a very large vertical robot, vertical weapon robot with a now upgraded, pretty awesome looking weapon that really has a lot of momentum behind it. It's become a single tooth versus when we faced it before, it was kind of a bar design, which would effectively be two teeth. So this thing hits with a lot more force, and I'll just let the video play out for itself.
Okay, now spin up. Go! Where do you want to go? Again, that's going to shoot up. Wow, solid hit. Okay, the weapon is going to be grinder. Come on, son. Hang in there, elbow out. Tapping out. Your winner by knockout. 10 minutes. Okay, now spin up. Go. Where do you want to go? Again, that's going to shoot up. Wow, solid hit. Okay, your weapon is grinder. Come on, son. Hang in there, elbow out. Tapping out. Your winner by knockout. 10 minutes. That's a battery. Next fire.
Okay, so you can see quite quickly that the Themis has a whole lot of energy behind it. Was able to knock our bot back. Initially, we got the box rush off on it. However, trying to get around it, it was able to turn and defend itself. And once it threw us up in the air once or twice, we really kind of couldn't get back into control. And then, as you see here, the bot gets something happens after that final hit, and smoke starts coming out. At that point, it becomes a fire hazard. So, pretty much that's a DQ at this point. We took the bot out as soon as it was safe to do so. We took the battery out carefully. You've got to take care of the battery. You put it into water to kind of diffuse it. It has to sit there for a while to really deactivate. Now, the interesting thing is exactly what happened in this post-mortem, or the let's say the forensic look at what happened. If you take a look, and I've got some pictures here, you'll see that really the KO knock was the fact that the Themis hit our right back rear wheel well, and that in turn was enough to bend that armor and basically push that axle through the bot and push the axle into the battery cavity that was containing the battery. Once that axle went into that battery, it was game over. It basically went out. So fortunately, the damage electronic-wise was limited to just the battery that was in that compartment and the ESC that was controlling one of the brushless weapon motors. Well, one thing that I learned then after this event, the problem was that this chassis had gotten bent up. You can see from the other pictures, there was definitely some big damage done to the front left side of the robot. That 16th-inch titanium was just not enough to withstand these hits. To be fair, Themis, I think, went on to win the entire competition. But basically both the 3/16 stainless steel front with the 16th-inch titanium armor was not enough to really not deform, and so unfortunately the chassis got bent quite a bit as well, not only in the right rear where it hit the wheel well, but also on the front left. So going forward, we're going to have to make some changes. But what I did learn from that event was that obviously there's a different tool set that's needed to address a welded chassis design. I still like the welded chassis design. I think it's got some good merits. It allows me to get very compact, and I don't have to worry about bolts coming out and flying off and batteries coming out for the most part. But I've got to make sure that the armor itself is sufficient. As it is, the stump grinder is only weighing in at about 12.3 pounds. So there's plenty of room for extra armor, and I think I need to take advantage of that. Build up extra armor, probably put some absorbing high-density polyethylene on the sides of the bot to prevent any future, denting, and we're going to give that a try the next go-around. So hopefully this armor will prevent, the same kind of catastrophe of a battery fire from the first go-around. Well, as you might have guessed, I simply did not have the tools to fix and unbend this chassis after this event. So even though it was only the first competition or the first round, it really knocked out the bot. I did not have the ability to bend things back into shape. So that evening I rushed back to the house, from Stuart, Florida, about 2.5 hours to get back to Orlando. And I spent several hours then trying to hammer the bot back into shape, but it was much too late. And knowing that I'd have to drive back down there, I had to concede any future matches because it just wasn't going to get back together. I think in the future I'll have a different tool set that will enable us to bend the steel back into place if needed. Hopefully the armor makes that a moot point and not really required. So that was it. That was, even though it was just a single match, I think we learned quite a bit from this event. We're still going to move forward, I think, with these the steel chassis design. I think it just needs to be a little bit bulkier and handle the hits.